My name is Kartini. It's a bit like martini, but with a K. And growing up, I was always a big lover of music and community. And around 2008, I was actually in a little old indie band as the lead singer that was called AI. And what a coincidence. And a little bit cringy, a little bit serendipitous, but it is serendipitous because now I'm working on a tool for collaboration where artists can create, control, and customize their own AI machine learning models with QMusic. So unlike other AI music tools, where maybe you type in a little text prompt, QMusic is a bit like a lean digital audio workstation or a DAW. That's like Ableton or Logic, but you can essentially fine-tune the AI music model yourself. So think about it this way. If you were a guitarist and you're about to play a set, you need to tune your guitar before you play. It doesn't really matter how good you are. You could be Jimi Hendrix, but if you haven't tuned your guitar, it's just not going to sound that good. So you wouldn't play a set without tuning your guitar first. So why would you play your AI music models without fine-tuning that too? So I'll take you back a few steps. It was 2019. This was the pre-ChatGPT era, otherwise known as the GPT-2 era. I was working with a series of collaborators at Google's Creative Lab on some machine learning tools for creatives. At first, it was with writers, then musicians, then even at one point, puppeteers. But that's a story for another time. So since then, we've really seen the rapid rise and onset of this idea of low-effort AI slop and content farming, a la Shrimp Jesus. So now, more than ever, it's important for us to consider how we can control and build capacity for artists in generative outputs. Because if we can build capacity and control, we will unlock agency and trust. So it's really no surprise that in a recent AI and music report, 82% of music creators from this report said that they were concerned that artists would be threatened by how AI might impact how they make a living from their work. This sentiment has actually been echoed globally, where artists like Billie Eilish and Nicki Minaj and Stevie Wonder have signed an open letter calling for responsible practices of AI. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. 54% of music creators said they can see the benefit. They think it can assist the creative process, especially in the music industry. So while this still remains kind of contentious in the music industry, how AI and music might work, one thing remains quite clear, that there is a universal demand for artists to want fair compensation, creative control, and consent when their work is being used alongside generative AI. This is what has been compelling us to work with artists like Alexis to understand and how to work with AI instead of against AI. So this all sort of started back with the Sydney Opera House. They supported a project called Sonic Mutations, where we worked with Rowan Savage and again with Alexis to explore this idea of how we could develop a generative remix tool. In this instance, you might have an idea, like the seed of an idea, maybe a little vocal riff, for example. And you transform it into a violin or metal music or another artist's sonic signature. So it was really working with this community that helped us to unlock ideas in ways that we could have never imagined. And on that note, I'd like to introduce Alexis Weaver here to show you some of those ideas in practice.
Awesome. Thanks, Kartini. So for the last few years as a musician myself, I've been really interested in what is it that makes the human-AI relationship satisfying for human artists. And from what I've learned, it seems like it's when humans can retain some of that decision-making and creative control that the human-AI magic actually happens. Because it's actually that creative labour that's embedded in the making process that makes art meaningful. In my role at the Conservatorium, I teach lots of students in music technology from all different experience levels. Some of them are coming in with no skills, and some of them have been using it for a long time. So this collaboration is really exciting to me, because a tool like this doesn't take away our autonomy in making music, but it does spark new creative ideas and leads you down different avenues. So in front of me here, I have some music that has been assisted with AI, but maybe not in the way that you're expecting. So for this first example here, I had an idea to start with, and it was just a 4-note motif. I'll play it now. All right, pretty simple, and if you take the reverb and the delay off, it's very simple indeed. So this is what I uploaded into QMusic, and this time I used another artist's trained prompts to see what music and sounds it would throw at me. And I came back with these two main ideas.
Cosmic Pirates.
Yes, Cosmic Pirates. So you can hear in there that that main idea is still there, but it's given me all this stuff on top of it, which is really exciting to work with. But there's a lot of sounds layered one on top of the other. So this is where the human work comes back into it. And I knew I wanted to use those drums, so I separated out the low and the high stuff and then sped it up so that it would match the tempo of the original idea. And that's what this sounds like. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. If I go back to these prompts, you can see here, maybe, that the second one used the prompt baseline, but as is sometimes the case with AI, it didn't really sound like a baseline, but it had a lot of other cool stuff in there, some really high textured sounds. So I thought, I'm going to use that and turn it into a little riser, which is like a crescendo into a new musical section or idea. And from here, we go back to the human side. I've got my idea now, so I just need to add in some more musical elements, including an actual bass line, and really bring that kick out from those AI sounds that I got. And this is where I got up to. All right, so it's evolved a little bit, and I'm looking forward to working on that. But I want to show you another example, and in this one, I didn't start with any idea. I just wanted to see where the AI would lead me. So I'll just move over to that one. Okay, so in this one, I went back to QMusic and I used my own trained prompts this time to generate some new vocal and drum outputs. Now, I was pretty methodical about it this time, and I worked with different likeness percentages to the original sounds and different temperatures. And the wonderful thing is that a lot of the time you get really unexpected results, and this was definitely the case again. So let's have a listen to some of those outputs. Okay, and it's that last one that really excited me. One of my favourite things to do with AI is to get it to speak when it's not necessarily trained for human language and see what comes out. And that final vocal output really just screamed dance track to me. And that is not necessarily something that I do very often, but I was really determined to go where the AI was pushing me to go. So the first thing that I did was, again, separate out the drums, the high and the low, and find particular sounds that really spoke to me about dance beats. All right, Next thing to do was to find a bass line, and I took some creative liberty here and sampled out just some of the bass sound to make my own bass line.
Woo. Sound of the summer.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Okay, and from here, the only thing I really needed to do was coax out the sense that there were real lyrics being spoken from that vocal and do some cool creative stuff, pitch shifting it, cutting it up, and I had something that kind of sounded quite dancey, which I was quite happy with. So I thought we would play a little bit of this for you, but we're going to pair it with some live interactive visuals designed by the Koo Music team. So I'll start that now. All right, so we can hear that that's wildly different from where it started, but the AI quite literally gave me everything that I needed because I took all of the sounds from those AI outputs. And that makes music making really fun and not pressured to be perfect, but it certainly leaves control in my hands. It's a little bit like having a collaborator who's throwing these half-baked ideas at you, and then you can run in any direction that you want. So what's next, Kartini?
Oh man, those insights have just been such a dream to work with as a collaboration. Up next, we are hoping to work with a global community of artists who are interested in shaping the way AI music sort of evolves in the music industry and the future of music. I guess if there is anything you take away from this is that artist-centered design in this space is so crucial to unlocking new ideas and new collaboration models. Thank you.
Thank you.